What we're talking about is maximizing the assets of Team Epiphany. The basic goals of a consulting relationship would be to assess the capabilities of the company, assess what market opportunities exist, curate the team, and then capitalize on all these opportunities. When we talk about assessing team capabilities, we will meet with each team member to understand exactly what it is that they think they do and what they actually do, discuss the current management approach, and also identify existing agency-client partnerships that can help us augment our team. In terms of market evaluation, we'll look at industry trends in the influencer market and what other competing agencies are doing, how they're perceived, whether that perception is real or not. And team curation is basically confirming, assigning, and if necessary, reassigning roles based on that one principle of leveraging the strength of Team Epiphany without disrupting the culture. When we look at a gap analysis, on the horizontal, to the left we see people who are really good with story. On the right, people who are good with developing systems. On the vertical, the difference is people who are really good at thinking, coming up with ideas, and then people who are good at making ideas. Train, this is you, up in that upper left-hand quadrant. You're really good at thinking of an idea and being able to talk about that idea to a client and present it. An art director, for instance, is going to be more on the side of thinking of an idea but not as strong in terms of presenting it. And then when you have to talk about designers and producers, these are people who are not coming up with the ideas, but they're really good at making something to show a client and figuring out how it's going to look and feel. Lisa, you're right up there in terms of thinking, but you're more of a systems person. You can tell the story, definitely, no question about that, but you can also talk about how it's going to work. And then most of the employees are going to be somewhere on this little curve, meaning they're not quite as strong in terms of story and thinking, but they are good at terms of developing and maybe pushing things out the door. But to really make a lot of money, to really make this thing successful, what you want to think about is, do I want people just coming up with ideas, or do I want people who can come up with systems, meaning they can create something that's going to be around for a while, something that you can manage on a monthly basis and get that monthly check. That's what you have to decide. And then market capitalization. How much can we afford to cop? Meaning how big can we let this thing be before we have to start thinking about making management changes? So we can forecast potential income based on the traditional partnering model that exists between you and PN. And we can estimate a timeline for building out resources. So how do we get from here to there? I looked at a couple of scenarios. I think this is the amount of hours it'll take to do these 4 steps. And again, we talked about the fact that we can do this over a quarter and then figure out what the relationship is going to be going forward. So those are my thoughts. How do we get from here to there? Boom, Team Epiphany. All right, talk to you guys later.